be doing 2 presentations back to back. First we're going to do English, and then in about half an hour we'll do a Spanish, all right? And so we're going to just play a little game of knowledge, because that's what we're here for. So a little knowledge takes us a long way, and then we can help our customers in our downline. And the first thing that I just want to mention is, as you already know, we've in the past always talked in our catalogs and on stage about 3 major steps, right? Cleanse, tone, and moisturize. Now, the past year and a half, we've really wanted to add on and talk about 1 extra step. So we have step 1, which is cleanse. Step 2 is tone. Step 3? Treat. Yes. And the final step is?
Moisture.
Excellent. So with those, you already know that we have different products that we can recommend to our customers. Today, we have Michelle here, and she's going to be sharing with you our awesome line of Ideal Radiance, and then we're going to do another game just to share information with you on how to assess our customers. Because it could be confusing, right? And we don't want it to be confusing for you. That's why we want to spend this special time here with you today. And so what I'd like to do, just to get this party started, who would like to come up here with me? Maybe you do. Gentlemen over here. Okay, give them a round of applause. So, what's your name? Hi Mike, how are you? Where are you visiting from? Canada. Woo! All right, hey. Hello, Canada. All right, so I have 4 different laminates here, and I want you to look at them, and I want you to put them in the order of steps that you know that they go. All right? And so here you go, and we'll start the clock. That deserves a gift, my friend. We're going to give you a shine spray. All right. Congratulations. All right, so as we can see, he did it in a way that we know is the right way. And as we can tell, there's different cleansers, toners, treatments, and moisturizers. So before we go into that, the second game, we're going to have Michelle D'Allard come and join us. She's going to share information about Ideal Radiance, and then I'll come back on stage to talk about more product information. Thank you so much. We'll see you in a few minutes.
That was fast, Helen. She's a fast game player. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Achievers, and congratulations to all of you. It's fun to see everybody this time of year every year. Everyone ready for the holidays? Yes. No, me neither. I'm not at all. No. And the worst part is, totally off subject, my mother, who moved from the East Coast 25 years ago, well, in August, I was in China, Australia, and New Zealand. So my mom came to spend a week with my husband because he hates being alone. I go, you want your mother-in-law? So he came to spend a week, she came to spend a week to keep her company, and one afternoon on the telephone he says, hey, your mom's looking at houses. I said, what? He goes, no, they're thinking about actually moving back. They want to be closer to the family and all of us. So I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, I haven't lived near my mother in 24 years, and there's a reason for that. So in the midst of it all, here I am, and guess who's at my house with her dogs and all of her belongings because she's moving back. Yes. Yes. So yeah, I'm not ready for the holidays either. Anyways, I'm thrilled to be here with all of you. Congratulations for all of you on being here. It's been a great year. We've had, I'm trying to get this earpiece correct, we've had a phenomenal year and a half with artistry. Would you not agree? Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. And with the launch of Youth Extend, things really started to take off and change. And then with the launch of Ideal Radiance, we really stepped up a notch. But you know what, we're still continuing to get some of the questions that are the basic core questions. What do I do with it? Why do I have it? Who is it for? So we're going to clear that up this afternoon. And I'm going to try to do it as simply as I possibly can. But the one thing that I do want to say to all of you is, when in doubt, take a minute and think about what you know. Think about what you know. Because Artistry has done an unbelievable job empowering you with information, with details in this handy-dandy guide of every product, of the features, the benefits, and the technology. Use what you have. But first of all, let's talk about why a brightening line. Why? Because brightening has come to the top of the charts for aging concerns. And this is globally, this is everywhere around the world. You know, for years past we thought, well, you know, it's the Asian markets that are the most concerned about brightening skin. That could not be any further from the truth. And in my clinic, in the school, in the last 3 to 5 years, I can absolutely tell you, more people come in concerned about pigmentation than they do about fine lines and wrinkles. So there's a huge demand for it. It's anybody concerned about uneven skin tone and dark spots, which comes right along with the aging process. I said earlier, it takes 15 to 18 years for one severe sun exposure to show up on the surface of the skin. So, what we did when we were 15, 20, and 25 is what we're now seeing when we're 35, 40, 45, and 50. And you know, I'll date myself for a moment. You know what I was doing? Baby oil and iodine and a record album covered in aluminum foil. That's what I did in my teens and even in my early 20s. So we start to see it later on, and it's a huge concern. The next question is, well, but who is my target market? Is it those women and men that have reached that point where they're worried about pigmentation because they see it and they want to get rid of it? Yes, it is, but the beauty in Ideal Radiance is that it's preventative and corrective. And if you go back to, it's in all of our guides. Remember the beautiful chart that was introduced with Youth Extend that showed, although we don't see the signs of aging until 40s and 50s, 30s, 40s, 50s, they start early on. We have the exact same chart with Ideal Radiance. And what we're finding with Ideal Radiance is that those brown spots begin to accumulate in the skin even before fine lines and wrinkles, the late teens. So when it comes to Ideal Radiance, who is your target market? Anybody that's concerned about pigmentation developing or concerned about improving upon it. So we have a huge target to work with. Now the next question comes, well, all right, I understand that, but now I've got all these products, I've got all of these collections. You know, what makes Ideal Radiance stand apart from all of our competitors? Because how many of our competitors have a brightening skincare line? They all do. And what makes us different? It's the science and the technology and the clinical results behind the Artistry brand. And so when I talk about it, I talk about, let me tell you, because we can't possibly know every ingredient that's in every product line. What we can know is what's in our products. And what sets it apart are the ingredients that are found in there. So when we look at the technology of Ideal Radiance, it's completely different than our competitors. We talk about a three-dimensional brightening breakthrough. And we say a three-dimensional brightening breakthrough because we are focusing on 3 new ingredients and 3 different layers of the skin. So generally when we talk about it, and even in our manuals, we begin with talking about the surface of the skin and our multiflora blend. A blend of flowers found from around the globe that provide an antioxidant protective barrier on the surface of the skin. So antioxidants protect from environmental stressors, from pollution, from wind, from harsh products, from anything, air conditioning, the heat, anything we come in contact with. So from the surface we move down, and our second key ingredient is our pearl protein. Well, many of you might say, well, you know what, Michelle? I know that our competitors are using pearls in their ingredients too. So what makes it so different? Our pearl protein is completely different from our competitors because we're not simply using crushed pearl, we're using a unique extraction process. Our pearls are harvested off the southeast coast of China, and they go through a very unique extraction process. Instead of just crushing up the pearl and adding it to the products, we extract a 100% protein concentration, turn it into a powder, and place it in the product. This way we have a higher concentration with a more effective brightening ingredient. Now, how does the pearl protein work? Well, it works to correct. It works in the middle layers of the skin. And what it does is it works to inhibit pigment from being deposited into the middle layers of the skin. So your question to me should be, well, if we're working on inhibiting that pigment, how do I get rid of the pigment that's there, right? Natural skin cell turnover. Our skin cells renew themselves every 28 to 45 days, depending on the condition of our skin. So the secret is, if we can turn off those melanocytes and inhibit that pigment from being deposited into the skin, well, as those darker skin cells come to the surface and slough off, what do we have? Brighter, more beautiful skin. So, multiflora blend on the surface, pearl protein in the middle, and then here's the really empowering part of it, is our three-dimensional technology. There's a whole lot of threes in this product. So our 3D technology is a unique liposome. We've talked about liposomes before. Liposomes are unique because they're bubbles, but the outer wall of the bubble is a lipid. It's a lipid very similar to the lipids in our own skin, so it penetrates through all of the protective barriers deep down to the lower layers of the skin. And what is found in the lower layer of the skin? The melanocytes, the pigment-producing cell. So the pigment-producing cell gives our skin its color, gives our hair its color. And then the rest of the time, it's dormant. It just hangs out in the basal layer and doesn't do much of anything else until it's triggered to produce melanin in order to protect the cells in the upper layers. And what types of things trigger those melanocytes? UV exposure, pollution in the environment, hormones, stress, inflammation, improper product use, harsh product use. Any of those things trigger it. So what do we want to do? We want to minimize triggering that melanocyte. So we want to hydrate it, reduce inflammation, and slow down the pigment producing process. Well, guess what's in our liposome? Ceramide 3 to hydrate, licorice to soothe, and acerola cherry to reduce pigment production. So we really have nailed it at all three different levels. So let's work backwards for 1 second, because I think whatever we look at on the surface is the result of what comes from down beneath. So look at the surface. We penetrate down to the bottom, we soothe, we calm, and we reduce pigment production. We move upward to the middle layers of the skin, and in the event pigment is produced, well, now the pearl protein is inhibiting that pigment from being deposited into the skin cells. Then we move to the top layer, and our multiflora blend is providing antioxidant protection. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that easy? See? And that's what sets us apart. We can knowledgeably talk about, let me tell you about my three ingredients, and let me tell you how they affect three different layers of your skin. So moving from that and saying, okay, I get the technology, I understand why I need it, now what do I do with all these products? You do the same thing with them you do with everything else. It's not that difficult. And everyone gets a little overwhelmed, and I hope this is my guide. Oh, this is Helen's, and oh, at least it's not in Spanish. Hold on. If I find my pages here. Okay, so if we look at pages 54, 55, 56, and 57 in your guide, all of your technology is here. So if you need a quick refresher, you want to talk to your customers about the technology, all three of our ingredients are here and exactly what they do are here. When you turn the page, we look at our products. As Helen just said in the very first activity, our product usage does not change. All we're doing is adding a different kind of product. You cleanse, you tone, you treat, you moisturize. It doesn't change. So now we're just going to use our beautiful new Ideal Radiance products. And here's what's really fabulous. Cleansers and toners are absolutely wonderful. First time ever, our toner is also a treatment product because it has brightening ingredients in it. So when do we cleanse and tone? 2 times a day. Now, we kind of step things up a little bit with the treatment process with Ideal Radiance. But it's easy to understand because you say, well, now I have 2 treatment products. What do you want me to do with both of these? Well, think about what you know with what they do. First, we have our illuminating essence that replace our old illuminating essence because now it's time to grow up, get a little more sophisticated. Great new product, and it's very similar to serum concentrate. Has the highest concentration of all 3 products. Ultimate, powerful brightening for the face, the neck, the décolleté, all over. But you know what else we knew? In all of our clinical studies and when we were talking with people, what's the one thing somebody says to you? I got a spot. I've got a spot. Can you get rid of this spot? Everybody's got a spot someplace. So we also knew that it was important to come up with something that was concentrated brightening ingredients to focus on those spots. So all over, lightening, brightening, antioxidant protection, targeted spot protection. What do you use first? Lightest to heaviest. Just follow our regimen. Things don't change. Now, what's a little bit different about Ideal Radiance, and I get the question a lot, is, well, we don't have a nighttime moisturizer and a daytime moisturizer. Well, we sort of do. We have 2 moisturizers. One's a moisturizer, which is lightweight. One is a moisturizing cream, which is heavier. So one is for normal to oily. What are they doing over there? One is for normal to oily skin. One is for normal to dry skin. And then we have our sun protection, which is independent SPF 50. Why are they separate? Because in a brightening product, we had to have ultimate hydration at the same time. Both of our moisturizers increase hydration levels by 100% in 15 minutes, and it lasts for up to 8 hours. We could not get those same results if we put the sunscreen in the product. In the daytime, you want to follow your Ideal Radiance moisturizer with your SPF 50. And has anyone tried it? How many of you have tried the 50? Do you love it? Love it, love it, love it. It's lightweight, it goes on beautifully, your makeup goes on great afterwards, you don't feel heavy, you don't have a white, opaque look to the face. It's fabulous. Now, why do we have to use an SPF 50? Think about what I said when I talked about the purpose of the melanocyte. That melanocyte produces pigment to protect our skin cells from the environment, from sun, from inflammation, from irritation. If we inhibit the skin's natural protective process, we've got to do something to protect the skin. And this is why the sunscreen is so important. A question I got earlier was, well, can't I just use my Youth Extend, my daytime SPF? Yes, you can. And if it's wintertime and you're inside and that's what you want to do, that's fine. But that SPF of 50 really guarantees you are protected from the environment and from the sun. But our products are just so critical. Now the next question that comes, I know my time is really limited, but the next question that comes to me is, okay, well, how do I choose? What am I supposed to do with all of this? Because I've got wrinkles and I've got spots. So what is it that I choose? Because we're all concerned about all of those things. If you want optimal benefits out of a treatment product line, use the entire line. If you want optimal benefits. So here's my recommendation. use your ideal radiance. When your ideal radiance runs out, go to your youth extend. When your youth extend runs out, go back to your ideal radiance. It's good to mix up your skin. And I say this about things all the time. You know what? We change our clothes with the change of seasons. Change your skincare with the change of seasons. Another option, if you're a diehard, you're going to be defiant and say, I'm not giving that up. Alternate every other day. Youth extend on Monday, ideal radiance on Tuesday. Alternate your days if that's the case. But really, if you want optimal benefits, the best way is to use a full collection. If you've got somebody and they're an anti-aging guru and it's fine lines and wrinkles, but they've got a few really tough brown spots, incorporate your spot corrector. You know what? Think about what you know and learn about your customers. What do they want from you? What are they looking for? Because if anti-aging is really their concern and it's just a few spots, they're not going to be happy with a whole Ideal Radiance collection. But if it's someone that says, you know what, I am concerned about that pigmentation, alternate your collections. It's really good for your skin as well. Now, here's the other thing you can do. If you're using Ideal Radiance and you're concerned about your anti-aging, well, vitamin C and wild yam, anti-wrinkle firming serum, 14-night restore. We've got beautiful things, Cream Luxury Eye and Cream Luxury. Think about your add-ons that you can incorporate. Your full collections, and Helen's going to do another activity of talking about how do I choose, what do I choose, where does it go? Your collection is your basic skincare, your intensives are your add-ons. They're intensives. They're there for a short time period, not every day, all day use. It really is simple. And ladies and gentlemen, we truly are blessed to be part of one of the finest cosmetic companies and skincare lines on the entire globe. Utilize it? Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? We couldn't be in a more beautiful position right now because the whole world wants to look younger and more beautiful. Wouldn't you agree? Yes. Yes. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully I answered your questions, and Helen's going to finish it up and make it even easier for you. Thank you.